I'm Chapel Kasnavis, working for the World Health Organization. I'm based in headquarters in Geneva, and I'm responsible for promoting community-based rehabilitation and the key, you can say, the coordinator of the CBR guidelines. And the main purpose of these CBR guidelines is to see that disabled people are included in all kind of development initiatives. And the group is usually not included and traditionally excluded for various reasons, including stigma and prejudice.
The only way that disabled people are going to get included in society is going to be through CBR. In poor countries, any kind of more highfalutin, high-tech kind of approaches, very specialist approaches, are not going to work. So CBR is going to be the way to get disabled people included.
Hi, I'm Diane Mulligan. I work for Sightsavers and I'm a global disability advisor. I was involved with developing the CBR guidelines. And for me, my number one would be for mainstream international NGOs to really start disaggregating their data around disability, just the same way they've done that with gender. So if they're running a schools project, they know how many boys and how many girls are involved. We would ideally like to know also how many disabled children are going to school and how many aren't. So I would ask them to start thinking about disability in terms of very simple numbers. They're out there, are you counting them? Thank you.
But what I did learn today was one of the favorite slogans of the disability movement: nothing about us without us.
Hi, I'm Wainwright. I'm the Chief Executive of AD International, and for me the key message here is about including and reaching disabled people. I think to anybody who's working on poverty and working against poverty, I appeal to you all to think about how you include and how you benefit disabled people in all of your work.
Today's a great day. It's been a long time coming. We've been waiting a long time for these guidelines because basically they're the blueprint for governments to be able to use to ensure that the UN Convention is implemented.
We're one of the small international organizations working with local NGOs in Africa and Asia, and we just want to ensure that we're doing our best to include disabled people in all of our programs of work.
My name is Gertrude Feofame. I work at Sightsavers as a social inclusion advisor focusing on Africa. My message is that unless development arena, being disability specific, general, private, government initiatives include disability as a mainstream activity in development and ensure that there is robust monitoring, not only in terms of numbers but also quality, there is not going to be success in international development.
I think for me the most important thing is that whilst it's wonderful talking to other like-minded organisations, that we really start to concentrate on convincing southern countries, developing country governments, to start to demand inclusive development. And then after that, we really work hard to persuade the bilateral donors and the multilateral donors that they should be actually funding inclusive development. And those two things really should be part of aid effectiveness and all the declarations of Paris and Accra. If we can't make development inclusive, how can we make development effective?
Mulligan, Executive Director, United Nations Association UK. Today has demonstrated that we as an NGO in the UK can work together with NGOs from the whole disability sector, along with UN agencies, to bring together a whole range of people to launch these new guidelines. It's been fantastic working with partners who are focused on disability issues around the world, in the UK, with academics, with the people from the Global South themselves who came here to speak. And UNA is uniquely positioned to be able to bring all of those players together into a launch event like this, where we had 3 ministerial correspondences that we were able to present to people today, a whole range of press interested in the event, and there's a real buzz at this event and the post-event networking, people making contact with each other, talking about how they can now implement this, what follow-up they can do, how they can gear up their organisations to using these guidelines. That's a fantastic result.